One. Welcome back, guys, to another interview, a part of this that I like to start calling Cerebral Conversations, and the name was given to me by my very good friend Asia Bacon. And today I'm here with someone really special, and his name is Glenn, and I'm gonna have him introduce himself.
Hi, hi. I am Glenn. I uh, founded did did a blog called Wheelchair Wheelchair Daddy.
Okay. So my first question I like to ask everyone is, what was it like? Well, not everyone, but I'm gonna ask this specifically for you and people that have had cerebral palsy. What was it like for you growing up with cerebral palsy? Because I know you're a bit older than I am. So was there any
Yeah.
differences? Was there any differences growing up with cerebral palsy back then compared to now?
Oh yes. I had actually grew up prior to prior to the ADA, and I was actually prior to actually the five of four
Mm-hmm.
as well. So it was a lot harder,
Mm-hmm.
harder. Um, uh, just because, yeah, had not had the laws in the so
Mm-hmm.
it was a constant fight. Is a constant fight.
Yeah. I could only imagine. I could only imagine having to deal with that back then. Because growing up for me, it was difficult, but I could only imagine how difficult it was for you not having a certain type of technology that was around when I was growing up, and even today.
Right.
Like technology has progressed so much that kids nowadays growing up with cerebral palsy have a lot more access to accessibility things,
Yes.
more equipment, and everything else. So so I could only imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah. So my next question is, what made you want to start the blog? Was it something you saw? Was it something you wanted to was there a message you wanted to get across? What made you want to start the blog?
Well, I had yeah found out that my wife was actually pregnant, and I could not find 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 actually your info um info about about fatherhood hood and cerebral palsy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. So you mentioned you had kids. What's it like being a father of kids have while having cerebral palsy? Because I know there's probably people that have cerebral palsy that are gonna be watching this that want kids, and I mean, including myself, I want kids
Yeah.
someday myself as well. So,
It's actually, it's actually, it, it is pretty easy. Because, because, because if you had think
mhm,
about that is probably the the only person around your um uh, village who 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 had actually grown, grown, grown up uh, around around cerebral palsy. Um, that is all he knows.
mhm, mhm.
Wow, he knows. That's all
Yeah,
he knows.
yeah. That's actually really great because for one, for one thing, I've been kind of nervous about is when I eventually find that special someone, I'm always like, okay, I eventually want to have kids, but I'm nervous because is the kid gonna have cerebral palsy like I do? Is it
No,
hereditary? Is it not hereditary? How are people gonna
it is
feel?
not.
How are people gonna feel if they see me walking with my child? Are they gonna kids gonna make fun of them at school? So those are the types of things that I kind of worry about. But just hearing from you makes me feel like, okay, if I decide to have kids, I know everything's gonna be good.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Uh, and the reason it is because that is all they know.
hmm
From the from the birth,
hmm
that is all they know.
hmm All right. So I have about like three more questions for you, and then we can wrap it up. So for the first of the last three, since starting the blog, have you gotten a lot of people messaging you saying how much they appreciate the blog, and what has the reception been like since you created it?
positive, 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 extremely positive. Um, several people have asked, have asked that the that I thought a podcast is positive, extremely positive.
Nice. And I honestly think you should. I know you mentioned you have a speech impediment, and it doesn't matter if you have a it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you have a speech impediment. If you have a message to get out there, you get it out there any way you can. I started doing this, just to, get different perspectives and to learn more about people, and I've learned a lot just from the few people that I've interviewed, and from interviewing you, I'm learning so much, even just from the little bit we've been talking.
Wow.
So definitely, if you want to start a podcast, I would say definitely do it, because
Thank
even if you don't know it, your blog is helping a lot of people, and I mean, even though they don't outright say it, you're helping people through a lot of dark times. So if you want to take it to video format, I definitely suggest that you do so if you want to. If you don't want to, you keep doing the blog and keep positive that way. But if you want to take that next step and start a podcast, you definitely can. So
thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. So so my second to last question for you is, What is it like? What is it like being married with cerebral palsy?
Um, positive, positive.
Mhm.
What? It's a lot of equal. Yeah. A regular, a regular wife, a regular husband, you know, ways in this world. Have our arguments, we will travel, you know, it is a very, very, very typical marriage.
Mhm. All right, that's good to know, because because I want to, get a girlfriend and eventually get married. So I always wondered what it was like, because I know from the outside looking, well, just from the outside looking in and thinking about it, I'm always thinking like, okay, well, if I get a girlfriend and if I eventually want to get married, is she going to be willing to deal with all the quote unquote baggage that comes with dealing with a person with a disability? Is she gonna want to completely have to, update and change her life to deal with these sort of things? So
Right,
those are the kind of things that I'm kind of like still kind of dealing with as far as like the mental side of things. But other than that, just from hearing what you're saying, it seems like it'll be good. So
right.
mhm. so
It'll be fine.
mhm. So the last question I have for you is to end off this interview, because I don't want to keep you for too long, because I know you're a busy guy. Um, what advice do you have for anyone who has cerebral palsy, who, probably wants to start up a blog or start a podcast, or just any uplifting words that you have?
Go for it. Simple as that. Simple as that. uh, right. Yeah. Um, it can't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It can't hurt.
Yeah, it definitely can't.
Try it. Try it. And then go for it.
Definitely, I definitely agree. And this has been a great conversation. I feel like I've learned so much, not only about you having a blog, but also you having kids and also you being married, because that's also one thing that I've been thinking about a lot and want and eventually want for myself. So I
Thank
appreciate
you.
so I appreciate you, coming on and doing this, because you definitely didn't have to. Because
No problem.
I feel like I
No
just some
problem.
regular guy, and I see you have a blog, and I see all these other people with several pods doing these big things, and here I am just having, little interviews. But
Yeah. A podcast is a podcast is a podcast.
mm,
So hey, you are doing great.
thank you, I appreciate it. Well, guys, this was Glenn. I'm me. Make sure to drink your water if you have water. And this has been Cerebral Conversations. And I will see you guys on the next interview. And hopefully the next one won't take as long. And Glenn, if you want to say an outro and say goodbye to the people.
Thank you. And you have visit 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 my blog at the wheelchair daddy dot com.
Yeah.
Wheelchair daddy.com.
Yes. Definitely visit his blog. I remember reading it a few months ago. I haven't read it recently, but from what I read, it was some really, really, really good stuff. And I will definitely have it linked somewhere in the description of the video. And when I post the clips, I will make sure to link it for you so that way people can check it out. And
Wonderful.
and definitely check it out, because he's doing big things. I'm in the beginning of trying to do big things. So hopefully we can do this again soon on like a bigger platform with more people, because I
Yes.
definitely want to do that. I definitely want to have like a bigger, more roundtable discussion with more people to get even more different perspectives and have people bounce off each other. So
All right. Sounds good.
sounds good. All right. Again, this has been Cerebral Conversations, and I will see you guys on the next interview. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. All right. Take care.